So welcome back to Name Keychain Project Part 3. This is the part where you have to do exactly what you are told. No creative freedom until the end where you place your cylinder. So you are making the keyring loop. In a 3D printing world, sometimes there are things that you are given told exactly specifications, so it has to function. And this is that part. If you make this too big, that metal keyring loop is not going to fit around it. If you make it too small, it's not going to be strong enough to actually support your keychain. So right here are your directions in written words. It tells you the size, 8 millimeters square, which means the X and Y axis are both 8 millimeters. And then the height, which is the Z axis, is 4. The second cylinder is going to be 5 millimeters square, and that one's going to be 6 millimeters tall, so it's taller. And that one will become a hole. So you can see right here, here's the first one, here's the second one. You're going to align it so that this one goes in the middle of that one, and then we group it all together. Because once you group this, that will become a hole. So here's a video of the demonstration of the steps. Let's go make it. So we go back to our keychain. We're going to click Tinker This again. And I need to get rid of all of this. So this is all the extra from part 2. You don't need to see that anymore. So for part 3, here's my name. So I need my first cylinder. And according to this, it needs to be 8 millimeters square and 4 millimeters tall. So 8 millimeters square. The easiest way, let me drag that all the way. The easiest way I find to do this is to click on the white box in the corner or the black dot, the black box. It's your choice. And then you go click on the number. And then, because it's highlighted in blue, I can just straight type. If I hit backspace, I might accidentally delete my cylinder, which is bad. So I'll just hit type 8 and then hit enter. And then I'm going to go click this other 20, and I'm just going to type 8 and enter. So I really pressed 2 keys, 8 and enter on both of them. And then it says 4 millimeters tall. So I'm going to go over here to my cylinder, and I want the height. So this is the Z-axis. And I'm going to click that white box at the top. And then over here on the 20, I clicked it once, so it's now blue. And then I'm going to hit 4, enter. So it is now 4 millimeters tall. So that's my first cylinder. The second cylinder I need to get is going to be 4 millimeters square and 6, that says 4. That says 5. 5 millimeters square and 6 millimeters tall. So I'm going to go get another one. And this time, I forget already, 5 millimeters square. So I'm going to go ahead and click, this time I'll click on the black dots. So this one, I need to be 5. So 5, enter. And then I'm going to go click on this one to get that number, 5. So they're the same. They have to be the same. If they're not the same, it's not going to be round. Perfectly round. It'll be an oval. And then the height is 6 millimeters tall. So I'm going to click up here, and this one needs to be 6. Okay? Now my directions say I need to make this one into a hole. So I'm going to go over here to this pop-down box, and I'm going to click hole. So it's now kind of see-through, transparent, but in Tinkercad world, this is a hole. That means this is negative space. So when I group this with something else, it's actually going to subtract away the solid material from the other object. So now I need to select both of these because I need to perfectly center that hole, that second cylinder inside the first cylinder. So I'm going to click the Align tool, and I'm going to go ahead and click the center dot here, the center dot there, and you need to make sure this dot here is selected so that it's not floating around. Let me show you. If you have accidentally at some point in time clicked that cone, and you go to your, you go to your Align, why are you doing that? Okay, you go to your Align tool, there we go. We want this dot here to be selected. So this dot should be grayed out, this middle dot should be grayed out, and this middle dot should be grayed out. And with this selected, then you're going to right over here to group, and I know I can click group because it's activated versus that is not activated. So we're going to click group, and once I click group, the magic happens. It's so much fun to watch. It takes away that cylinder. That inner cylinder becomes a hole. And now if you rotate around, you can actually see through this. You should be able to see through this. Please rotate around and make sure you can see through this. And then you get to drag it down with your arrow keys and attach it ideally to your first letter. So we're going to overlap it into our first letter using the keyboard. So you can see, let me drag this all up for you so you can see better. Right here, my loop is into my letter A. That's perfectly fine. You don't want it to go in that much because that is going to block the center one. We are dealing with super small sizes here. That will block it. That's perfectly fine. That's passable. This is not enough. It's not even attached. Another little trick on Tinkercad is over here on the corner, it says snap grid. You can change this number, and this changes how much your objects move when you press that arrow key. So I want it to move a little bit less. So you can see when I press that arrow key, it didn't jump as much, and that works just fine. And then once you have that where it needs to go, you're going to click and drag your box around everything, and then you're going to click group. And now your keychain has become one solid object. And that's all you need to do for part 3. But I'm going to show some tricks. For some people that have unique letters in their name, like a J or an S. So let's look at a J. If you have a J for the first letter of your name, what would be really awesome is if you put your keyring loop so that it's like nestled into the curve of your J, so it's really attached. The same if you have an S. It'd work really cool if you have it attached in 2 places instead of just like this. This tends to sometimes snap off, but if you have it hooked in there, it makes things a little bit stronger. But you get to be creative. Be creative in where you put it. And if you really wanted to, I'd let it, I'd let you slide if you want to put yours like here. Like I want to put mine attached, undo. I just changed that. If I want it to be attached closer into the center of my M, maybe I want it to, my keychain loop to hang from the middle. You can do that. It's just whatever you want done. Once it's done, you need to make sure you have grouped this all together so it's now treated as one object. So that's all you need to do for part 3.